Mr. Clerk?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just with respect to the motion to go into closed session, I'd just like to add, if we can, a confidential update regarding the DBIA pursuant to Section 239(2)B of the Municipal Act. If that could be part of the motion, please.
Opposed? Councilor McHugh, Councilor Sharp? All in favor? Thank you. We'll go into closed. call the meeting to order, and I ask you to stand for Indigenous land acknowledgement, the national anthem, and then we'll be seated. Thank you.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
Please be seated. Thank you.
Your Band-Aid. Take a second here.
Well, thanks for coming this evening, and we'll get right into our agenda. And I don't have any particular announcements. Does anybody? Councillor McHugh.
Yeah, a rather sad announcement. I'd like to announce the passing of Bob Collins. For 25 years, he was a very faithful and dutiful police officer here in the city of Trenton. And I see he recently passed away, and unfortunately, I see his wife passed away just a few months before him as well. So they're together again, and our condolences go out to his family and to the Quinte West Police Department. Thank you, OPP. Thank you. Hey, I just take a moment. It gets pretty rough sometimes in our closed sessions. The mayor's got a wound. I just have to give him a Band-Aid here. 2 seconds.
What do you got?
I've got a Band-Aid for you for
Oh,
your hand.
okay, yeah.
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead,
While you're attending to your wound, can I make a brief announcement?
Yes, certainly.
I just wanted to state that thanks to the Quinte West Building Department, who have issued an occupancy permit for Quinte Conservation. Quinte Conservation had to make some changes to their storage facility, and they had to remove the older building that was falling down. And a great big thank you to the Parrott Foundation, who provided funding for the new structure, which is now up. You can see it from Old Highway 2, right just off to the west side of the Quinte Conservation Building. And CAO Brad McNiven wanted to give special recognition to Quinte Conservation's Mike Smith, who kept the project on track with his determination to get this facility constructed and ready to go, because they have needed it for many, many years, as they weren't able to use the other structure that they had to tear down. So thanks to everybody, especially the Quinte West Building Department, who issued the occupancy permit. Thank you.
Mr.
Councillor
Mayor?
Armstrong?
The Toyota U15 soccer champions, national championships are next week, correct? From the 9th to the 15th, I think. So there'll be a lot of new faces in town and some excitement to go and participate in and enjoy. And also kudos to our staff for getting all those fields ready. They look outstanding.
And Mother Nature for helping us. Councillor Stidham.
And I just, following what Councillor Armstrong was talking about, this is a huge event for the city. It's taking place from the 9th to the 14th, and we're going to see 22 teams of U15 athletes that are coming in. There's apparently 12 boys teams and 10 girls teams. And there's going to be 8 to 11 games that are going to be taking place each day from 11:30. So on the 9th, we're having a grand opening, and all of council and members of the public are invited to attend. It's going to be very busy down there, but it's going to be really exciting. We also have another exciting open house that happened on the weekend, and that was with the Pregnancy and Family Care of Quinte West, which is over on 35 Ontario Street. That was fantastic to see the number of people that came out for that opening. It's already, they had 92 different agencies and builders that helped to get that building open. They raised $1 million in 10 months. And they have got an uptick already just because of their more open location. People can see exactly where it is, so they've already had an uptick in the number of people that are coming in. They are looking for more volunteers, and they are looking for donations as well, especially with small, baby clothes and things like that. So anyway, it's pretty exciting.
And just to add to what you said, there's a guy that was on site every day that renovation took place, and his name is Peter Dibbets. And Peter and I went to school together, and I have a smart car, and I made a donation on Saturday, and Peter's going to bury me in my smart car. But the funeral will be very cheap because I've already paid for it. But Joe and Peter were the two guys that got all the help that they needed to do the renovations in that facility. Fantastic facility. Space, office, privacy, you name it, they've got it. So kudos to all the people, all the builders who worked, and Peter said to me himself that anybody who was asked, he was not turned down. So that's fantastic. Yes. Anything else I've forgotten? Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe this is Fire Week, and maybe Fire Chief Whalen would like to comment on the things going on for this week.
Thanks, Councillor O'Neill. Yeah, I had a couple things here, if you don't mind, Your Worship.
Go ahead.
First of all, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you'll see our firefighters wearing pink epaulets. I didn't put mine on today, I forgot, but all our staff will be wearing those. Councillor Reid, I was going to call you, but I'll tell you now, and we'll send something out. But on Sunday, October 20th, at the Frankfurt United Church, they're hosting an emergency services a service actually with all our police, fire, and ambulance personnel. So that's Sunday, October 20th at the Frankfurt United Church at 1 p.m. And as Councillor O'Neill alluded to, it's Fire Prevention Week, the 7th of October to the 13th. And we'll be hosting our open house at Station 1 from 10 until 2. So everybody's welcome. We'll have hot dogs and displays out. Good family event and some education.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you'll likely have donuts too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether Councillor Carter or Sharp, but one of you, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to just highlight a few events that have taken place. I want to thank Manager Linda Lyle and the Economic Development Team staff for the career fair that was held in partnership with Belleville, and really well attended, and that's so important, and all the employers and individuals that went job searching. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to highlight, I always love getting this in our local, in one of our local papers, our City of Quinte West page, and the communications team does this. But a couple things coming up. We have the leaf and yard waste collection starting October 28th in Trenton Ward, November 4th, Frankfurt, Sydney, and Murray wards. We just started that a few years ago, and also November 11th. And Trenton Ward. So leaf and yard waste, it's always a good thing after Thanksgiving to get your yards cleaned up. And we also have the giveaway days on October 19th and 20th, and you can put things out at the curb. All of this is on the website in terms of guidelines and helpful hints, but very popular activities in October. And I also wanted to highlight a local resident and athlete, Phil Kerr. A lot of people know Philip Kerr. He was in Florida for the U.S. Nationals wakeboard competition, and he was second overall in Canada, and he got third in trick, third in slalom, and a first in highest jump on his wakeboard. So just wanted to put a shout out to Phil from all of us. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I just had a couple of quick comments. Tomorrow night from 4 to 8 p.m. is the DBIA's Ladies' Night Out 2024. So there's a couple of dozen businesses that are participating. If you start at the DBIA office building, you can fill out a ballot for your chance to win a gift basket worth $500. The drawing is soon after 8, so get your ballot in then. And it's always a fun time. And October 26th, we will be having the community cleanup, kind of like the fall version of the Trash Bash. And I'll have more details for that at the next council meeting, but hold that date for anyone who wants to participate, clean up the community.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Councillor Reid.
I'd just like to mention that the memory tree donations for Frankfurt Christmas Fantasy may be made now at Medill's Pharmacy, Home Hardware, or Frankfurt Municipal Office. The deadline for submissions is the first week of November, but donations and names may be given at this point now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Stedall.
Sorry, one more thing, Councillor Card, I thought might have mentioned about the Hops on the Water event. It was excellent, and staff did an excellent job pulling it together this year, and hopefully we're going to see more of that going forward next year.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McHugh.
One last thing, and I'm sure the chief was remiss to, going to be mad at me because he forgot it himself, but Coach for Kids, would you like to speak to that for us, sir, please?
Yes, thank you, Councilor McHugh, through you, Your Worship, the rest of the council. Yes, our Station 1 have just started to initiate that program. It's been going for over 25 years, so if anybody has new coats or donations, they can either call Station 1 or drop them in. We're accepting the coats right now. I don't have the dates in front of me, but that's in November when they'll when you register that people can pick up the clothing.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Well, I'll end up, and we'll get started, but I want to thank our first responders. That's all our first responders for the job you do for us in the city and the Bay of Quinte region, working together and dealing with situations. As we know, you have to be prepared for the unexpected, and you do such a great job training and being ready. And I really salute all the first responders on the work you do, and yeah, I just admire how you do it and how you do it so well. It's not something I can do. I can butcher a cow, but that's as far as I can go. That's it. From beyond that, I'm out of the loop. But I really thank you, because we've had some very difficult situations, and yes, so thank you. Okay. All right. Open session, I need to, we've done that, and any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Hearing none, declare that closed. Approval of the agenda, moving Councilor McHugh, Councilor Armstrong. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Mover of the minutes of the regular council meeting held September the 18th, and that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on September 18th be approved, and further that the minutes of the closed session council meeting held on September 18th be approved. Mover and seconder, Councilor O'Neill moves, seconded by Councilor Cart. Okay, any questions, comments? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, we've got a delegation tonight, and we're right ready. Anne Marie Aquino, Coward, President Chair, and Bill Sweet, Volunteer. Ladies of Sacred Heart, Padawa, and your requesting we waive the encroachment fee for the Sacred Heart Church sign project. And come on up. We're glad you're here, and we appreciate the work you do. And, well, yes.
Working, yes. Hello, everyone. Now, do I just speak in here?
Yes, you have to speak into that little box there.
Okay. Can you hear me? We're good? Thank you. My name is Anne Maria Quinte. Good afternoon, Mayor Harrison, members of the Council for the City of Quinte West, and thank you for allowing us to speak with you this afternoon. My name is Anne Maria Quinte Coward. I am Chair and President of the Ladies of Sacred Heart and the Ladies of Sacred Heart Battawa. We are a charitable organization and a public foundation, and our mission is to help our community of Battawa, the Sacred Heart School, and the church through many activities that help our residents come together and in turn help to fight the social isolation and loneliness in our rural community, which there is a lot of. We're here this evening to continue with our vandalized sign project with you as we strive to convey the importance to the Ladies of Sacred Heart, the community of Battawa, and Sacred Heart Church. It is important that we have this sign for our community, as it enables us to communicate activities happening in our hall and our church in Battawa. We are rural, and many residents, believe it or not, do not use internet, but will go for a walk and see all the messages that are up there. We would like the City of Quinte West to consider waiving the encroachment fee of $800 after we've already paid a permit fee and an additional variance fee of almost $600, as we are a charity and very small. The sign in place has existed. You can see it up, I don't know, can you see it? Oh, you can see it there, okay. So this is so bad, this sign. The sign in place has existed for over 20 years. It is on a single access cul-de-sac street near a low density area that is unlikely to be widened in the next 10, 20, or 100 years. And therefore, having an encroachment to its currently existing position is not unreasonable. If the city in the future then chooses to widen the road and relocate the hydro poles and the street light, which are closer to the road even than our sign, the Ladies of Sacred Heart will pay to relocate the sign at no cost to the city. We have measured continuously since January. We're heading for a year. This is Mr. Bill Sweet. He has been a volunteer and we have driven him crazy, but he has gone there multiple times. He was there for us to speak on the variance here last May, and once again, he went to measure. So he's going to explain the drawings on the screen, and then I'll finish up. So this is Bill.
How is everybody this evening? This is the sign that we are proposing that has been through the council before a couple of times. I was here back in May, and we did get everything approved. The problem was everybody was concerned about was the menu board and the time it would be turned on and turned off, like turned off at 8 o'clock at night, which when I was here last, everybody had agreed that it would pass and it was okay. And then all of a sudden, we got notice that it didn't pass, and never got no reasoning why that the sign didn't pass. If the diagram's up there.
No, the variance passed.
The variance passed.
The variance passed, and, yeah, carry on.
So the measurements we have from the center of the road, they told, when I had the dimensions, they said that we needed to be at 20 feet. We have 27 feet, and I can still move the sign over another 9 feet if need be. And I spoke to that at the last meeting, and everything was supposedly supposed to be cleared, but for some reason it had stopped. So we were trying to find out why and what the reasoning is that it hasn't gone any further.
Someone, should we then?
Question, I can't answer it. Who can answer this question? Anybody can answer it?
Just like, if you don't mind, I can just.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll read, I'm just gonna say the last paragraph, and then maybe you'll get a gist of how frustrated We are. So the ladies of Sacred Heart Ottawa requests that somebody from planning or building or public works meet us at the side entrance with a can of paint. And I'm very serious about this because we have had multiple people stand in the center of the road. And so, so that we can see where is the center of the road to the sign. We can move it, as Bill said, what did you say, 4 to 9 feet? Anywhere.
Anywhere between 4 and 9
Back
feet.
if needed.
If needed.
If you look at the picture, the proposed sign height is exactly the same. It's already 47 inches wide. All we need to do to move forward is another 16 inches. We would like the building permit to be reinstated and the encroachment fee of $800 waived. And that's what we want. This has been going on for almost a year. Public Works said, no, you don't need a permit. Then they said, yes, you do. So we came and we got a permit. Then they said, it's canceled the next day. Then it's going building, planning, and then the final issue was Public Works, and that must have been the 10th time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the sign. We're not building a cathedral. It's the message board that maybe bothers some people, but it is important. Where's that sign? That one little sign of the coffee. If you back up, and this is, we do all kinds of things in the little church. But here, this little sign here, the seniors wade out in the snowbank, climb the snowbank, stick that sign on so they can tell everybody coffee break is on today, which is every Thursday. And all we want is to have, looking forward the next 20 years, a digital sign that we're not going to be flashing it and doing all kinds of stuff like that. The first part of, go to the new sign, the first part of the new sign is just lit up. It's just the box. So then they said, now we have to pay $800 for encroachment. And if I could just say, in a very nice way, thank you very much. You gave us a $2,100 grant to help us towards this communication sign, because it is very expensive. We still don't have all the money raised. We're working on it. But honest to God, if you do the encroachment of 800, that takes 1,400 already away from our savings that we've been saving. You have anything else?
Councillor Sharp has a question.
Oh, actually, through you, Mr. Mayor, I think this must have been going through planning department. I haven't seen this.
Planning switches it to building.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what I might suggest, I'm not sure, if Mr. Clazy could coordinate a meeting of the relative departments and staff as requested at the site to quickly assist in dealing with this matter. Would that seem reasonable, Mr. Mayor and others? Mr. Clazy?
Yes, that's fine. I can coordinate that.
And do we need encroachment fees?
We'd like it to be waived.
So I guess the
that's
issue
what-
of the encroachment fee would be something for council to consider.
But I don't know-
So I guess my understanding is, as long as the sign is still on or partially on city property, we do need an encroachment agreement. It's
I
whether.
know what you're saying, but I think if I remember correctly, is there not a water line and something goes along on their property as adjacent to ours? Is that, I thought there was something with that respect.
See, those are new sidewalks too in the last 10 years, right? So they're real, everything's close.
Anyway.
It's been there 20 years.
Councillor McHugh.
Yeah, I like the idea Councilor Sharp put forward, that we have a meeting, determine where the center line is. Maybe if you can move this 8 or 9 feet, maybe this encroachment issue would just disappear on its own. If it doesn't disappear, then we'll bring it back here and decide to do it at that time. But I think until we know what we're dealing with, but if we can get the people out there ASAP, determine.
But I thought we already had done that. Did not Director Angelo comment on that at the last meeting?
They said at the last meeting that they asked me where I got the measurement for the center line, and he said, well, that doesn't mean that's where that center line is. And I said, well, what do I use for a center line? The only thing I can measure is, I cleaned off the dirt off the side of the road. I went to the edge of the sidewalk, and I measured from one side of the road, the other side of the road, and got the center.
Okay, well, maybe the best thing is Counselor Coates.
Just to clarify, I believe it's the center of the road allowance. So just because the road, you see the road, that doesn't mean that if you go and measure the center of the road, that that's the center of the road allowance. The road could move within the road allowance. So you do need Public Works to tell you where the center of the road allowance is. And then once you figure out what that is, then you can figure out where to put the sign. And if there is no encroachment, then you don't have an encroachment fee. So meaning like if you put the sign outside the road allowance, then you won't be encroaching on anything, which
I'm
is
sure.
what you're asking for.
Okay, so you're going to set up the meeting and
Yes, leave it with me. I'll have somebody from Public Works.
before
I think we need.
Christmas.
Yeah, I think we need probably a survey or one of our surveyors to take a look at it to Councillor Kunce's point of view, to know exactly where the edge of the road allowance is, and then the placement of the sign can be determined.
Would we have to come back and then ask for the encroachment to be waived if they think there is? I mean, it's been there over 20 years, but.
I think the motion covers the encroachment, does it not?
Whatever you think.
The waiving of the fee is basically up to council.
Okay.
But you should be able, by the sounds of it, you should be able to locate the sign so it doesn't encroach.
That's very possible. I
But
don't know for sure.
I could add to the motion if council wishes that the fee be waived, if in fact an encroachment fee is required. I could add that, or you could do a
Okay,
second
that's-
motion.
That'll cover it and get it done. Okay, seconder agrees? Okay, all right, Counselor Kunze.
No, I was going to second Councillor Sharp's motion to waive the fee if there's an
I
encroachment.
got
If
a
there's no
second.
encroachment, we don't need to worry
I got one at
about
both
it.
ends, so we should be covered.
Now
Okay,
you need a vote.
all right. Okay, all in favor?
Contact us on,
Thank you.
and they can meet.
Thank you very much. You didn't happen to bring my pie, did you?
If you want apple pies, it's Wednesdays are left. There's 30 left.
It's this Wednesday, is it?
Next Wednesday.
So I haven't missed it. Well, that's good, because my wife mentioned something, and I said, well, I'm not sure what I did, but
I've
anyway.
never made a pie in my life, and I'm the organizer.
Okay, well, there's
Thank you
hope.
so much. So my blood pressure will settle down, and I do appreciate all of you.
Okay, good.
Let's get this figured out, okay?
Well, thank you. I know children want you to pray for snow, not me, but children, okay? I know that, so anyways, thank you very much. Okay. Then we're into public input. Anyone here for public input tonight? Come on up. Please state your name and tell us what's on your mind.
Good afternoon, councilors, mayor. My name is Ryan Farrington, and I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Callie, who got a Juliana pig. There's a motion being put forward for an exemption to this. She saved up her babysitting money for almost 2 years to purchase this mini pig. A little background story on us is back in 2020 of April, when she was 10 years old, I lost my parents in the Nova Scotia shootings, and she lost her Nana and Papa. From that day forward, she wasn't the same little girl that I've known. When she came to me and said she wanted to buy this mini pig, I was all for it, not thinking that she'd be able to save up the money over 2 years to purchase this pig. To my surprise, she did. She saved up $1,400 to purchase this pig, plus more money in order to have it taken care of from the vets, to have it microchipped, and to have it housed. She's endured so much hurt and was absolutely devastated at this senseless act. I am asking you that you please just make this exemption for her at 9 Kid Avenue so she can keep her best friend Maple, who has helped her through these tough times lately. She's already lost 2 best friends this summer who moved away due to their parents being in the armed forces. and Maple was the only thing that could keep her from crashing and losing that hope. Please don't make me tell my little girl that she cannot have her mini pig because I misread the city bylaws. Thank you.
Dealing with that later on, so. Anyone else? Okay, we'll keep going then. Next, resolution that council approve the approach as outlined in the staff report for the naming of the Caring Place Industrial Park, and that staff be directed to report back to council with a short list of names for council's consideration. Mover and a seconder for this. Councilor McHugh moves, seconded by Councilor Sharp. Comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Thank you. Next one is by Louise Smith, Deputy City Clerk, that the City of Quinte West enter into an encroachment agreement with Michael Joseph Lemore to allow an existing concrete step structure at 37 Bay Street to encroach on municipal lands, and to allow an existing wooden step structure at 39 Bay Street to encroach on municipal lands. Okay. All right, need a mover and a seconder for this one?
I'll move it.
What we got?
I said I'd move it.
Councilor Quinte, second by Councilor O'Neill. Comments or questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay. Okay, so the next one is that council has resolution no objection to the regarding the sale of alcohol on Family Day, Victoria Day, Good Friday, Canada Day, Civic Holiday, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day at Frankfurt Variety and Laundromat, 31 Mill Street, Frankfurt. Written approval from the municipality will be provided to the LCBO. So, okay, I need to move in a second.
Linda moved it.
Moved by Councilor Reed, seconded by Councilor Boyce. Anything you want to add to that? I mean, what about all the other stores? I mean, if we're going to, I mean, how do we?
Mr. Mayor, I believe they all individually have to submit to get their approval. So say, for instance, Wooler, the one at Tucker's, they all have that opportunity to submit, but they have to be done individually. I know. I'd approve them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done this
I guess it
before for other stores.
Makes something sense to somebody. Councilor Stittle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There is apparently a resolution that's circulating the province that'll probably come to our agenda next meeting, and that is pushback on this, is that we do, even though they're allowed to do the sales, is that we have to individually do these resolutions for any applicant, and they have to do separate applications. So I think the pushback is to the province to say, look, you need to do some kind of an exemption for this if they're allowed to do it. They shouldn't have to come back. So I think we will see something coming forward.
I don't disagree. I'm trying to figure out why we're doing it. I can't figure that out. But
The LCBO requires them to do it if they want to
I'm
sell.
just saying the sale of alcohol in every corner store. That's what's got me buffalo.
Yeah, they can do
And
it.
I could ask, I know very well that we're still dealing with more and more impaired drivers. So that's not, obviously this isn't the solution. But anyways, we're dealing with the motion. Okay. All in favor of the motion? That's, okay, thank you. Carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, staff by Jacqueline Grimman, Director of Community Services and Strategic Partnerships, and Linda Lyle, Manager of Economic Development and Tourism, regarding Quinte West Chamber of Commerce letter of understanding be received, and that the letter of understanding between the City of Quinte West and Quinte West Council, Quinte West Chamber of Commerce for the provision of services within the City of Quinte West effective January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2028 be approved by council, and an executing bylaw be prepared. Moved by Councilor McHugh, seconded by Councilor Boyce. Any comments or questions? Councilor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to comment on the excellent relationship we have with our local Chamber of Commerce, and I see that we've now included the fee for the Santa Claus Parade as opposed to community grant and all the other services that we work with in terms of understanding the economic development part and then our sponsorship and promotion and work with the Chamber. So I think this is great, and I like that it's long-term. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay. The next one is the,
001.
right, resolution, staff report, Quinte West 2024-00155 by Director Grimman of Community Services and Strategic Partnerships regarding Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund application be received, and further that council direct staff to submit an application to the province's Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund, and further that council authorize the mayor and clerk to execute any agreements related to the funding program following the city process. Okay. Moving to seconder for that one. Councillor Card moves, seconder Reid, Councillor Reid seconds, okay? Question, Councillor Reid, or comment?
No, just seconding it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Any comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay. Next one, the council proclaim October 19th to 9 to 14, 2024 as the Canada Soccer Tournament, Canada Soccer Toyota National Championship U15 Cup Week in the city of Quinte West. Okay. Moved by, I need a mover in a second, Councillor Reid, Councillor Stedall. Comments? All in favor? Thank you. It's going to be a great weekend. It sure is. The soccer balls will be flying, and be careful as those young lads can move and so on. So, did I get all in favor? Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, next one is Kristen, received from Kristen Harold, Director of Communications and Marketing, Canadian Association of Occupational Therapists, requesting council proclaim Sunday, October 27th, 2024 as World Occupational Therapy Day in the city of Quinte West. And that council proclaim Sunday, October 27th, that's the resolution, as World Occupational Therapy Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that the city of Quinte West sign and the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color blue on October 27th, pending no scheduling conflicts. Mover and a seconder for this one. Councillor McHugh moves. Councillor Reid seconds. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you. Okay. All right, then the next one is that council proclaims Sunday, November 24th as Trenton Santa Claus Parade Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that council approve all appropriate road closures. Okay. Moved by Councillor McHugh, second by Councillor Reid. Well, I got Councillor Kotsovas. I'll save you for the next one. Thank you. Okay. Any comments? All in favor? Good. Thank you very much. All right. Then we're next to further. The next one is that proclamation submission by Kathy Rupert, Chair, requesting that Saturday, November 30th be proclaimed as Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade Day in the city of Quinte West, and further requesting that council approve all appropriate road closures. So the resolution that council proclaims Saturday, November the 30th as the Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that council approve the appropriate road closures. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Reid moves. Councillor Kotsovas seconds. Any comments or questions? Let Santa Claus know. Okay. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay. So the next is printed and non-printed. So I need a resolution for the printed and non-printed. Councillor McHugh moved. Need a seconder. Councillor Card. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Sorry, I have a comment.
Oh, sorry.
comment in regards to, I think it's 12.1F, that's the letter of support for the community CCBF fund. That's the old federal gas tax money, and we were circulating that through the province. It's nice to see that we are getting lots of support. People really understand that we do need some money, more money from the federal government for infrastructure. But I also want to take this opportunity to talk about some good news that was announced this week. Maybe the Director Finance wants to talk about the OCIF grant that we received funding for, which is, if you...
Yes, we'll let
Council-
Director Dowden show us.
Yes, through your Mayor, there was an announcement for the 2025 allocation of the OCIF, so that will be about 6.6 million, which is up 15% from last year's allocation. Important to note, 2 years ago, it went down 15%, so you'll see a bit of a wave there in terms of our funding allocation. Yeah, there's a bit of inconsistency from year to year on that fund, but overall, good news for us. And I'll be bringing a report back to council to talk a little bit more about the allocation of that money.
So in this case, we're a day late, but $1 ahead.
There you go.
Right? Okay. We won't send it back. Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, and notice of motion, exemption of to the animal regulation resolution, whereas the city bylaw 16-139 being a bylaw to prohibit and regulate certain animals in the city of Quinte West provides for the list of prohibited animals, and whereas Schedule A of bylaw defines pigs as a prohibited animal for domestic purposes in the city of Quinte West, and so on and so forth. So what's your, I guess I have to ask, what is your direction, Council? That's what I want to know.
I'd like support for this based on a couple of things. I think it's looking for exceptions to the rule, and this one, I believe, may qualify. I think the animal is a service animal, no different than a service dog in this case for this child. And she's undergone a lot of stress, a lot of trauma on a national level. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Compassion should come into play. Some other notes here. I see dogs on leashes being attacked by dogs that should be on leashes, and they might get a fine or whatever, but they're still allowed to be in the community. And here's a pig that might be 20 pounds maximum when it grows, correct? That's in the house most of the time? So in a sense, like an indoor cat or any other indoor pet. So based on that, I think it's worth consideration to exempt this.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill.
I'd like to second Councillor Armstrong's motion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Boyd.
Thanks. And I'm certainly going to support the motion too. And I know under the bylaw it says prohibited animals include pigs, but I think we should be able to make that exemption for, I mean, there's a really big difference between a mini pig at, say, 30 pounds, 20 pounds, and a regular pig at 600 plus pounds. And I know years before I met my wife, she had a mini pig too.
Your wife's got a pig now. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You worship. You worship. But she had one, and I mean, it was just like a dog. It was just like, it was probably better behaved than a dog as well. She lived in an apartment actually at the time too, and had this, and it was super well behaved. And so I'm going to support the motion, and I hope we consider looking at our definition of prohibited, meaning the farm pig, at 600 plus pounds, as compared to like a mini pig at, say, 30 pounds. But
you won't find many farm pigs at 600 pounds.
No, but unfortunately, sometimes people buy these pigs, and then they're told they're mini pigs, and they end up being these giant-sized pigs too, as well. So, like, I mean, I'm going to support this one.
If it's kept in the house, it's not going to be a giant.
I'm going to be honest, up until maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago, I was dead against this. I heard the term pig. I think of a pig on a farm. I again think of 2, 3, 4, 500 pounds. And Councillor Armstrong mentioned that it's, in a sense, a support animal. Another way maybe around this, I mean, I'll support it now, but could we get some clarification, a doctor or somebody to state that this animal is needed, is a service animal, support animal? That would eliminate this altogether, because I guess my concern is, I know it's a small one, but, and I said I will support, but what happens tomorrow if somebody comes and they've got a miniature horse they'd like to have in their backyard, that's a small thing they take in, or a small llama? It says here, just, we believe that exemptions not provided for in the bylaws should be considered. I'm going to get back to this case-by-case basis. We just dealt with a sign change basically here. We dealt with an alcohol change basically here. We deal with them on a one-by-one. But I'm just saying that in the future, if we exempt this one now, maybe we should look at it, if the implication is it is a service animal, that there be some documentation to back that up. That would, in essence, free our hands going forward.
Councillor Stedall.
And I guess I'm of the same thought, is that I have no issue with, a small pig and somebody having any kind of animal. That's something of support for them. But I guess if we make this exemption, I'm afraid if we go forward, we may get a lot of exemptions coming forward. And if it's not designated as an emotional support animal, then I'm afraid it could get out of hand. And it's not just us having the question coming to council and us having to make a decision. What happens if, staff starts to get a lot of these questions and they have to decide and make the decisions? I don't think it's fair to them. But if there is something that's done, like a written documentation from a physician that says it is an emotional support animal, I think that I could support that. So I will support this resolution as it is today on this particular case, but going forward, I'm wondering if staff can bring us back a report as to how we can deal with this going forward in the future.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you. Sure. Councillor Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So obviously, this is coming to us because there was a complaint.
Yes.
Am I correct?
I'm assuming you're 999% correct, yes.
And when I read the agenda, of course, I want to figure out what a Juliana pig is, and so I went on YouTube and saw some various animals, but the animals that I saw were not 20 pounds. They were much bigger. So I need more information on a 20-pound Juliana pig. Like, is it really a pig or is it something else? And people just call it a pig.
There are miniature pigs, and many people have
so many varieties of everything. And of course, in the bylaw, it just says pig. So the bylaw officer has to do his and her job and go there and answer to the complaint. And so here we are. Knowing that this pig is smaller than some dogs or most dogs, I mean, it's certainly bigger than my dog. My dog only weighs 14 pounds. My cat is probably closer to 20 pounds. But this is really weird. So I was just wondering, if we go ahead and pass this, can we just pass this for this particular animal? And if in the future, say this family still residing at this house decides to get a second pig or a third pig, I don't want to go down that road. So can we somehow word it that it's just limited to this particular animal for the time that this animal is with us on this beautiful blue-green planet that we float around on? Because I don't want them to get another one, and then we're right back here trying to answer to a complaint and making the bylaw officer and city staff have to go through the process again.
Yes, we can build a bylaw or build a motion that'll cover that.
Because I'll support that, otherwise I won't be supporting it.
I'm going to ask Jeremy and John, have you had any issues with with animals that are referred to in this case? I don't like to say the word pig because...
So, Your Worship, not in my memory of having worked here for several years.
Right.
We've had the odd dog bite and whatnot from domesticated dogs. That does occur, but certainly not from a pig, either on a farm or a miniature pig.
Well, thank you. Chief Wheeler, anything?
No, not at all, Your Worship. No. Thank you.
So this is a particular variety, is a Juliana mini. Are there other varieties Are there other varieties besides Juliana, or do you know?
Mini pig,
Pygmy pig, they call
I have a picture of how big it is.
Okay, well, I just was wondering whether do they grow much larger, or do they?
No, they grow that, as big as that, and it's registered with the, Trace Pig, or Pig Trace Association.
And pigs are quite a clean animal, you know, like pigs don't use the washroom where they eat. They're very careful like that, where cows and horses are not. So you have a plus up on that, and you can look after that situation, so. Pardon?
It's litter trained, she is litter trained.
Okay, well, that's, I don't have any cows that are litter trained, I can tell you that, not a one of them. So no, that adds to the, your ability to keep things clean and keep the smell away from other people, so we don't get the complaints, so. Okay. Counselor Sharp, go ahead.
I just want to speak to the notice of motion that's before us, and I know, I think it's little Mabel there, adds a lot of comfort and so forth, but I'm a little concerned about where we're going with this with respect to, we had a bylaw to prohibit, or I'll say farm animals out of residential area and with domestic animals. And this could open up many others that may have a situation. So I am uncomfortable with this, because then we have to define pig size or whatever else comes forward, and that's not what staff need to be doing. So I would only support the motion based upon what I think Councillor Stedall and maybe others, is that this is very, very specific within a time frame for this small pig, because of its support in these circumstances, which have been very difficult for a family. And I think we all appreciate that very much. But I don't want to start changing our bylaw to include various kinds of farm animals. This is clear the way it is, domestic animals. So this, for me to support it, would only because that the motion has some restrictions here. And obviously concern for the young woman and her comforting animal. So that's, I just had to speak to this, because I am concerned about opening this bylaw to, other animals.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, are you any comments at this time, or you're?
Yeah, if I can, Mr. Mayor, just to be clear, we're not actually amending the bylaw to include an exemption moving forward for this animal. It would be an exemption to the bylaw just in this case. I think the way that the motion is worded, we understand, staff understands that we're referring to this particular pig in this particular instance, and if we received any requests moving forward, we would continue to deal with it on a one-on-one basis. And if we started receiving, as a result of this, an abundance of requests, I suspect we would bring the bylaw back to, again, look at the exemption process to deal with that at that time.
Okay. Any other comments, anyone? Any other comments, anybody? No? Okay, all in favor? Thank you, and you'll bring the bylaw back to us, so. Okay, all right, thank you very much, and all the best. Unfortunately, things do happen. They don't always go the way they're supposed to. I know I keep a lot of animals, and I touch wood every day to make sure they are on 4 feet, you know. But so good luck, and all the best. You've already got it litter trained. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. So all the best. Thank you. Okay, Councillor O'Neill, go ahead.
Point of clarification, I don't think we need a bylaw for this, do we?
No, we wouldn't, through you to Councillor O'Neill, we would not be bringing the bylaw back for amendment. It's just an exemption to the bylaw in this case.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine with me. If that works, that's fine. Okay, thank you. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, bylaws, first, second, and third time. Need a mover and a second for bylaws. Councillor Armstrong, Councillor McHugh. Any comments or questions on bylaws? Anyone? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, confirmation bylaw.
Sorry, sir, is there other business that we are bringing forward, another resolution to do with?
Are we bringing forth another one? Okay, all right, okay. The DBIA? Okay. Do you want to make it? You don't want to make it? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the motion would be that Councillor Stedall be appointed to the DBIA Board of Directors and that a bylaw be brought back, or I guess no, because we want the appointment to be immediate. Okay, so.
And do we?
So, yeah,
do
the
we-
appointment would be effective immediately.
Pardon?
So the Councillor Stedall would be appointed to the DBIA Board of Directors and that the appointment would happen immediately.
Okay. Are we not also supporting?
No, that comes.
Yeah, we'll bring that
Okay, all right, okay. All right, seconded by Councillor McHugh.
Moved
No.
by Councillor McHugh.
Moved by Councillor McHugh, okay, all right, moved. Seconded by,
Voice.
got three, two here and one over there, so you can't go wrong. All right, Councillor Boyce seconds. Any other comments or, all in favor? Thank you, okay. All right. Then I think we're at the confirmation, aren't we, or are we gonna?
Bylaws.
Bylaws, okay, bylaws, yeah, all right, bylaws. Okay, I need a
did bylaws.
mover and a seconder, I did get one, did I not?
We've done-
Yes,
we've done the
We've done bylaws already.
Pardon? Confirmation, yeah, I'm sorry, okay. All right, I'm listening, but I'm not listening. Okay. Confirmation bylaw, mover and a second, Councillor Card, Councillor Freeman. Gotcha, got your hand up, finally caught you. Thank you. Okay, all in favor? All right, and adjournment, thank you. Thank you very much. 4 to 6, good time.